What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Branded Dude here. New replay. We are going up against Maliss. This is not Maliss with the Ad Ignister cards. This is purely just Maliss only. So 55 card build going up against 40 card Maliss. One thing I've said this many times: Maliss is the hardest matchup, I believe, for Branded. The fact that, you know, banishing the cards doesn't really affect them too much. It's honestly just going to bring back, especially the links, bring them back. The links, honestly, they do kind of have quite either for follow-up, a draw, or, you know, like card scripter can just bring back with the higher attack. But it's just not easy for Branded to deal with. The best way to deal with this, honestly, is one, get rid of the back row. The traps are honestly just too much interruption for us to have to deal with, and also just opening up the board so you can deal a lot of damage. So yeah, let's see how we're doing this duel. So we are opened up with Luber, Goldsock, Lost, Albaz, and Super Poly. Very good against Maliss. Obviously, Super Poly, if you play Gurura, that's a really good Super Poly target. Now, another thing is, I don't know if you guys know, there is the fusion monster. I think it's World Charis Armor Duel or something. Basically, it's the World Chalice fusion monster. It actually requires 3 link monsters for its summon, right? So Super Poly can go really hard if you're playing that in your deck. I don't know if that's something I want to put in my side deck, you know, just to go up against Maliss, because yeah, if it's Maliss with the Ad Ignister support, trust me, there's just so much you're gonna have to deal with. So Super Poly could honestly, with that fusion card specifically, honestly can just make your life so much easier. But in this build, we're not playing that, so I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll play, we'll see. But yeah, this is what we draw. This is pretty good. Super Poly is pretty good. Opponent opens Maliss in the mirror, which is the monster negate, Imperm, Impulse, Nibiru, and Dorma. So he literally just had one starter and we didn't have a way to negate that. So here I believe the Maliss play is going first. So he sets off the Imperm as a bluff. Sorry. Normal summon Dormouse, use effect, banish White Rabbit. So he is going to go full combo, so we'll just see what he does. And then White Rabbit here is going to set the GWC06. So he is still playing the trap cards. Obviously, I think I heard that when it was the Maliss Ad Ignister deck, they're not really playing the Maliss trap cards anymore in that sort of build. I might be wrong, but this is when I was watching the YCS Providence, I heard that the Maliss traps are not really played in that build, but this is obviously just pure Maliss. So yeah, Splash Mage here to Reborn. No interruption there, so he goes into Red Ransom, which will banish the... as the spell first, which activates, banishing Chessie. So yeah, he's going to activate Chessie now, which I believe he can use the effect to draw. So banishes the spell, draws into March Hare as well as another field spell, but now this spell will be triggered because when it's banished, he can target a Maliss Engrave, banish it, and if you do, add 1 Maliss card of the same type. So banishes a monster, adds another monster. March Hare, if you guys don't know, basically it has a quick effect where during the main phase, if this card's in your hand, you can banish 1 other Maliss card from your hand or grave, special summon this. But the whole point is, this is also like a sort of bestial, you know, if you want to banish your links in the grave or whichever other card, this literally does it for them, and also summons itself as a body, which also gives target protection for the link monsters. So anyways, but yeah, this is essentially, they don't need the bestials because honestly they just need this, unless they want to play bestials as a interruption. But moving on, Dormouse here will be triggered to summon. Links off, goes into the Cyber's Wicked, and then he's going to go link off into the Linkarebo, which will trigger Wicked, banishing Red Ransom to add backup Ignister. So yeah, you will see that Ignister cards, but he's not playing the, what's that new code talker Ad Ignister? He's not playing that. He's not playing that, guys, but he's playing that small, you know, backup Ignister, and I think there's another one of the Wizard. Anyways, Crypto does summon itself, but he doesn't banish a Cyber's monster off it, so he's not playing Dormouse, I believe. I mean, not Dormouse, Dartscaper. Goes off into the Hot Scripter, activates backup Ad Ignister, so this summons itself because he controls a Cyber's summon from the extra deck. Now on summon, it will add the Wizard Ad Ignister, which can also summon itself, and then he discards the spell off because of the backup. Now March Hare is going to trigger, banishing the spell, summon itself. Then here he links off, I think goes off into White Binder, which will banish, uses the effect to set. MTPO7, there's no need to banish anything because, yeah, he really doesn't need to banish anything there. Activates MTP, adds another copy of Marche, so now all three are basically out the deck, but Whitebinder here will trigger and he will get a draw. So we see here that he draws into the terraforming over there. Now he uses Whitebinder, banishing the Marche, Heart's Crypta, and MTPO7, which Heart's Crypta will trigger to summon itself, and Marche will also trigger to add itself to hand. Right here, I can add itself, yeah, add it to hand. So Heart's Crypta on the field, uses Heart's Crypta, shuffles back the trap, and here he banishes the terraforming just so that the trap card is back in the deck. Links off, goes into the topologic Bomber Dragon. So this is what he's playing. He's not playing the firewalls, he's playing topologic Bomber Dragon. So yeah, this is a non-once per turn, basically Raigeki, the main monster zones. So yeah, that's what we have to deal with. So end of main, we have Topo Logic to deal with, Dominus Impulse, Imperm, GWC06. Also he has Nibiru. Obviously Heart's Crypta will be an issue. Whitebinder, Red Ransom not really doing issues. It will change up the attack and defense of monsters. And also I guess another thing to mention is, as long as White Rabbit is being pointed at, his link monsters don't take any damage. So yeah, moving on. So this is what we have to deal with. So we draw for turn. Now here's the thing, when I saw this player go full combo, all I could think in my head was, I need a Harpies. And we draw for turn, and it's a Harpies. The hearts of the cards is with me, guys. So we draw into Harpies, which is honestly really good because now he doesn't have that Cyber's D-Save or Infusion to negate Harpies. So this card is about to go hard. So main phase, we start off straight with Harpies, to which our opponent is going to chain GWC06. Here he reborns Heart's Crypta, but now you just need to know these two monsters, the Crypta and Bomber, are both Cybers and Dark monsters. So Super Poly is still strong here. So get rid of the back row, follow up with Goatsock. Going to use this effect. Now here I was thinking of adding Cartesia, but I decided, you know what, let's just set up, let me just get a draw of Albion. I could have added Cartesia, then honestly obviously there's no point activating Brand Lost because Heart's Crypta could just immediately banish, but this would depend if he banishes Lost off the activation or not, honestly. But if he didn't activate, if it's open game state, we could go Super Poly, discard the Albaz, going to the Garura, get a draw, and then Cartesia would be free to summon itself from hand. So yeah, that was sort of the plan, but I decided not to do that. So we go Albion, send Retribution, draw into Perulia, which is, we're not going to bother using this. Thing is, I really could have, because Marche, if it attempts to summon itself, we can get a draw. Nibiru, also we can get a draw of that. But honestly, if we go Chainlink 1 Perulia, he could just chain Marche immediately. So I decided, let me keep this card in hand for a discard purpose. So normal summon a Luba because we already got rid of the Imperm. Add Brand of Fusion. Now here, first I activate Lost just to force out that Heart's Crypta already, just to try get it out of the way. I wasn't going to try play around it because we all know he has Marche in his hand, honestly, and then he can just banish this, bring this back. Obviously that will affect him because now he has to find a way to banish these cards. Actually no, he could just go Marche, banish Whitebinder summon, then Whitebinder could just banish Heart's Crypta again, you know, that whole process. So he had a way, so you know there's no way playing around this. So we're just gonna start off with Branded Lost, and there's nothing, he doesn't chain anything. So we drop that Super Poly immediately, sending Albaz just so we have an Albaz name in the graveyard. Boom, we go into Garura, getting rid of those two links. Last here will trigger. Now here we will add the Cartesia. Cool. On res, I think my opponent goes Marche first just to get rid of Brand Lost. Yeah, it goes Marche, where he banishes, I think it banishes Whitebinder. Yep, Whitebinder will trigger, so he's going to summon it and get a draw. So we see here that he does draw into Talents. Whitebinder here now attempts to banish the Crypta, Red Ransom, I think, yeah, banishes Retribution as well. No response there, totally fine. So yeah, we do lose the Retribution there. Crypta and Red Ransom will trigger to summon itself, and he also banishes White Rabbit off Red Ransom. So here he's going to go, it's not going to be Red Ransom because he doesn't have a spell to search, so it's just going to be a White Rabbit there, guys. So White Rabbit will summon, and then he'll be able to set the MTPO7, which he will activate right now, I think. No, he goes Heart's Crypta to banish the Branded Lost. Totally cool. We then go Cartesia to summon itself, and now here we will go Cartesia effect, to which our opponent is going to chain MTPO7, banishing the Marche. So now we can basically target his link monsters. Now here's the thing, also you realize that the placement of his monsters here was not good. He should have kept White Rabbit in the middle zone, so White Binder and Red Ransom point to it, so these two links do not take any damage from battle. So yeah, that was a misplay there. You got, if you're playing Malice, do remember where you place your these main deck Malice cards, sorry. So do be careful of that, but you'll see it does cost him the game here. Banishes the Cartesia, which is totally fine, and adds Dormouse. So we fusion away Aluba and Garura. Go for Queritus here, which is honestly going to be so huge because our opponent is at 3600 life points. On reds, it's going to be Chainlink 1 Garura, then Chainlink 2 Hare. With Hare, he adds the copy itself back, and we draw into Thrust, which is amazing. So we activate Thrust, search for talents, and yeah, we're going to hit his hand, get rid of the Ash because he did draw cards, and honestly he has a lot of cards in hand. Sure, we know 3 of them are Marche, but you never know. So talents here, boom, rip out the Nibiru, then go Brand of Fusion. So we're sending Albaz and Albion. Now the thing is here, he already he already used Hot Scripter. We all know his hand already, so here is nothing. So we can just set up our board just fine here. Banish, we go straight for Merjade. I decide to keep this card in hand because I don't want to be in the in the situation where I don't have enough cards to discard. So I decide just go straight for Merjade, go Queritus before we summon Bestial Rebellion. But we are going to enter battle phase, and now here my opponent is going to realize he takes 3000 damage from there, and the final damage here will be the Albion. So yeah, he misplaced there, and we end up winning game number 1. So we're hopping to game number 2. We are going second now, obviously against Malice. The cards I would side in would definitely be Lancia, Mules as well. I think I also kept the 2 Lightning Swords because we got to deal with the back row. And yeah, that's usually what I go here, but unfortunately you'll see we open Aluba, Quem, Aluba, Kolbai, and Serenia. So yeah, no Mochomis there. I did take out the Perilias in place of Mules. So yeah, we're still playing only 6 Mochomis there in that going second deck. Opponent opens Kolbai, 2 draws, Terraforming, and Ash Blossom. So yeah, that Terraforming is going to do all the work for him. So he's going to go full combo here. So we're just going to fast forward through this thing. So get the Dormouse, which will end up banishing most probably White Rabbit. And White Rabbit would definitely set the GWC06. Normal summon draw because yeah, goes into Red Ransom, adds Malice in the mirror. And then GWC, summon White Rabbit, Hot Scripter will trigger, banishes Chessie. Here he uses Chessie to draw, draws into Marche and Ash Blossom, so he has 2 copies of Ash. And then now here what's happening, he uses the Malice in Mirror, banish Dormouse, and he will add another copy of Marche to hand. Links off into Cybers Wicked, links off Lingariba, which triggers Cybers, adds backup at Ignister. So yeah, honestly, I think right now, draw could actually help you against a little bit against Malice because they're honestly adding too many cards to their hand. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. Backup will add the Wizard, and then discard is a card. Marche will summon itself. Marche will trigger to add itself back. Which wait, hold up. Does this really add itself? Discards banish, pay target 1, banish you. That's crazy. Anyways, going to the Hot Scripter, which will go off into the White Binder. Banish Hot Scripter only, which will trigger, summon itself. White Binder here will set GWC. Hot Scripter, banish White Binder by putting back Malice in a mirror so that he can get a draw. So here he draws into Jerusalem. Yeah, pretty good. He has 3 hand traps basically in his hand. Kolbai, GWC06. There's the Bomber Dragon. Draw Ash. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good. We do have Kolbai, so yeah, we'll see how we do here. So moving on, opponent does go to the end phase and pass. So we draw for turn, and you'll see here that yeah, I was just asking what card he had in his hand, which I should know because I kind of just wasn't paying attention since I had no interruptions. But yeah, we do know that one of these cards is the GWC06. So moving on, we draw Super Poly. Yeah, pretty good. This is honestly pretty good for us. Decent draw. But yeah, we do have quite a bit to deal with. So let's see how we do here. So go to main phase, normal summon Aluba, search for Brand of Fusion. An opponent here is going to drop the draw, but we're not going to draw this. This draw is only designated for 1 card, Ash Blossom. So we activate Brand of Fusion, opponent drops Ash, and we are going to go Kolbai. Luckily, opponent cannot prevent his Ash from being Kolbai. So he changed GWC06 to go into White Binder because he wants to use the effect to banish our materials if we go into Albion. So yeah, we have to go for Rebellion. So go for Rebellion. I don't send Tragedy because I decided I'm not going to go for Merjade. Merjade is not going to help us here whatsoever. You're just going to banish something and then it's just going to come back. So I decided, you know, let's clear up his board. So we are going to go for Chaos Star Source. We send Quem just to put it there in the grave. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, we just discard Quem. We keep Saronia in hand for now. And now here, our opponent is going to go White Binder, banishing Red Ransom, Quem, as well as Albion the Shrouded. So here, we will fusion away. We shuffle back Albion the Shrouded and Lubellion, I believe. Yeah, Albion the Shrouded and Lubellion going to cast Star Source. Chainlink 1 Star Source, where I decide to target his Bomber as well as his set card. And then our opponent is going to go Chainlink 2 Red Ransom. I think he also goes Chainlink 3 now. Yeah, he's going to activate the Kolbai targeting Albaz. Now here's the thing. In this situation, I was thinking that if there's a chance where we're obviously going to use Super Poly going to Curitas. If Curitas ends up being banished, you know, by a card effect or leaves the field by card effect, we can trigger it, summon Albaz, fusion away. That was my thought here. So that's why you see here, I decide to chain Serenia to this for Albaz to dodge the Kolbai, because if that plan goes through, Albaz won't be negated. But yeah, you'll see that actually changes. So anyways, Red Ransom here summons, banishes White Rabbit, and then White Rabbit is obviously going to set the MTP 07. Now here, yeah, we decide to go Super Poly now, so using Aluba and the White Rabbit. I was thinking of, yeah, I decided to use White Rabbit so that way these two Link monsters cannot protect it from taking no battle damage. Going to Curitas, and then here, honestly, this was a misplay. So I realized here, if I didn't summon Serenia, I could have first go into Curitas, use its effect, then summon Serenia, so that way we have more damage to deal with here. So we go Curitas, so yeah, unfortunately we can't deal damage with Serenia. Attempt to enter battle phase, to which your opponent is going to chain March here, banishing the Crypto, and Crypto will finally hit the board. And just remember, Hot Crypto does now have 5,000 attack. Enters battle phase, and then at the start of battle he is going to go Hot Crypto and banish the Serenia. For some reason it banishes the Serenia. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but yeah, moving on. He then follows up with MTP, does he? Yeah, MTP. I think it's MTP, no. Oh yeah, he's under draw, sorry, MTP, he's under draw, so he can't add a card, so he can't activate. So here we're going to deal 5,000 damage. Oh yeah, shit, sorry, he's on 4,300 life points, my bad. So yeah, deals enough damage. So yeah, him banishing the Serenia, he had to banish one, this card. He had to banish Chaos Star Source there, so that was a misplay from him. This was at 0. Maybe he forgot Serenia is also supposed to go to 0. But yeah, him with those little life points, we have 5,000 on the board, it's enough. His misplay was he didn't put White Rabbit in the middle. I think he could have. Yeah, he should have done that if he could. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, fortunately he did misplay there, so that did cost him the game. But yeah, luckily for us, we managed to win just in the going second. Well, basically the first time we're going, right? Yeah, basically just through dealing enough damage. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the duel. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I will show you the deck list. Obviously I was running for this, but yeah, if you guys have anything to say, any comments you would like to add, you know, about this duel, or even like, you know, matchups against Maliss, but let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.